Hey, you guys, this is Christina with leadsandleverage.com coming at you today with another Ribbit Show episode. I hope y'all are wonderful today, having a great day. It's Friday, and in real estate speak, that probably means you're going to be busy today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So I am actually probably coming today with you or to you with a topic that's probably very timely. It's about time management, and I don't like using those terms because time management is one of those elusive concepts, but we're going to talk about that today. So if you are watching this in replay, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know that you're here, and let me know where you're popping in from. And, let me know if you struggle with time management. That's my question of the day. It's very connected to the topic, but do you struggle with time management? And if you're absolutely willing to do this, if you would share with me what piece of it you struggle with. Like, what do you think is one of your biggest roadblocks to time management? So that's kind of what I'm asking today on that. So thank you for joining me. And we're going to talk about, like I mentioned, we're going to talk about how to get help with time management. Not how to get help with time management. I'm going to help you with time management. We're going to talk about it. One of the things, an agent came to me and said, I'm going to actually read what she said. She goes, how do you get it all done? Do you group your lead management tasks together? Which ones? How do you do it? Etc. And so she was seeking some management help because she feels overwhelmed. When you come into Facebook Domination Secret, which is our membership, a lot of agents, there's so much information in there. A lot of agents are just like, woo, I'm overwhelmed. Hey, Susan from Connecticut. They're overwhelmed. And I think one of the things we kind of forget is that everything's a journey, everything's a process, and we have to take time and give ourselves grace to learn. So that's just a separate little thing. But one of the things is, how do I manage my time? How do I prioritize? What should I be doing next? And so we're going to actually talk about how to get your lead generation into a system, into a process that'll work for you. I'm going to share with you what I do, and how it's worked for me and how I've changed and how it's changed me. So if you're joining me and you're live today with me, let me know in the comments, just like Susan. Let me know in the comments that you're here with me live, and let me know, do you struggle with time management? Yes or no? And if you do, okay, what do you think is the biggest roadblock for you when it comes to time management? If you don't struggle with time management, would you do me a favor and tell me one of your secrets that you think is just kind of pivotal to your issues with time management? So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about how do I look like I get it all done? So the question was really, how do you get it all done? But here's how I look like I get it all done, because the truth is I don't get it all done. Nobody does. Do I group lead management tasks together? Which ones and how? So I'm going to show you how I'm able to focus on lead generation first, foremost, and always. And then how I also have time to nurture current clients and past clients and prospects, and how I'm able to do that. So I'm going to share that with you, share this with you. So first of all, number one, there's about six aspects to this. First of all, you need to know your avatar, and I've talked about it in other Ribbit Show episodes. Your avatar is your kind of something you've created, or a person that you've created as your ideal client. You need to know your avatar. You need to know their problems. You need to know their pain points. You need to know how to help them, and you need to have the solution for those things. Okay. So that's number one, know your avatar. Number two, I've actually talked about this in some Inman articles. Know what your lead domino is. And I found that out. I don't have the book here. I got my lead domino from The One Thing by Gary Keller. So you need to read that too. So if you want to get your time managed and have more time, you're going to have to learn some things. So you need to know your avatar. And I did do an avatar Ribbit Show episode, so you can check that one out. And two, you need to know what your lead domino is. These are first and foremost, these are like creating your clarity and helping you get your clarity. And I found out my lead domino because I went through The One Thing with Gary Keller. The book. So that was very, very helpful. And I've been through this book 3 different times. I do it twice a year because it helps me regain my clarity again. And I'm switching, I'm changing, I'm morphing. So the first one is know your avatar. Second one is figure out your lead domino. Susan says, boy, do I struggle. I've tried time blocking, but I just can't seem to stay consistent. Do I need to figure out a schedule and stick to it? Maybe. So my question for you, Susan, if you wouldn't mind, is letting me know, when you say I've tried time blocking, but I just can't seem to stay consistent, do you mean like, this is what I struggle with. So I'm going to ask this from my perspective. Do you mean like you're not accountable to yourself to actually do what you need to do during that time frame that you've scheduled? Or, and that's kind of what I want. So if it's an appointment on the calendar and it's an appointment with you yourself for your lead generation, do you skip it if something else seems more important? Do you readjust it? Things like that. That's what I'm wanting to know. So, anyway, let me know, share with me if you will, that would be great. So that was the first two. The third piece, this is actually a tactic and we forget this tactic a lot of times. You need to batch. So what do I mean by batch? So basically, if, for example, my lead domino is writing, has been always, it was in real estate, it's in leads and leverage. Writing is my lead domino because when I write, I am able to take your questions and problems, my avatar, take your questions and problems, and I'm able to put them into Ribbit Show episodes. I'm able to put them into my emails for my email community. I'm able to put them into training articles for you. I'm able to put them into classes and workshops for you. So my lead domino is writing, and that includes ads. That's my lead domino. But here's the thing. So I'm going to focus on my lead domino that has been in my real estate business and in leads and leverage. I batch it. Here's what I do. Every single morning in my morning routine for 50 minutes, I write. Now, when I say I write, I don't sit there and go, oh, I'm editing my WordPress posts in my post for my blog. I'm not editing things. I'm not doing like design work. I'm not doing a little writing of an ad and then going on to the next thing. Excuse me, you guys. That's not what I mean. What I mean is if I'm going to every single morning for 50 minutes, I'm going to batch my writing. That means I'm writing. It's not a finishing off an article. It's not a, hey, hold on a second, one guys. Hey, can you guys be a little quieter? Sorry guys, I warned them that I was doing a Facebook Live. We have our vet visiting and our dog absolutely adores our vets. We adore our vet and she's here and they're working on the animals on their monthly thing. So anyway, when you have older animals, it's really great to have mobile vets. Sorry about that interruption. So what I'm talking about in batching is not doing other stuff. I know there's more to getting an article out than just writing. I know there's more to doing a Ribbit Show than just writing. I know there's more to creating an ad than just writing. But if you're going to batch it in chunks so that you're doing just that. So here's what I do. I don't finish off articles. I write. So I have all these ideas and I'll go in and I'll start writing and I'll just write and pour it out. I'll use other times to do the editing. I'll use other times to get it published, but that's how you batch. So if you're going to batch some of your lead generation and one piece of your lead generation is making sure to get thank you notes, 10 thank you notes out every single day, whether you send. Hey guys, hopefully you're seeing this again. We had a pause in internet. People were on and off the internet. So I was talking about 10 thank you notes. If you're going to batch those thank you notes together, here's what you need to do. You need to just be focusing on writing them. Don't address them. Don't stamp them. Don't walk to the mailbox. Don't do that. Focus on writing. Don't spend that time gathering the cards and the envelopes. Prep yourself ahead of time. You need to do that. You need to batch together to get your stuff done. So that's 3. So the first one is know your avatar. The second one is figure out your lead domino. And the third one is batch. 4. This is great, Susan, that you brought this up. The fourth one is calendaring and time blocking. And let me just be the first person to tell you, the first to admit that I fought this one for decades. I fought this one because I didn't want to be controlled, because something else was always more important, or at least I justified it in my mind, because quite frankly, I was avoiding that time block because I didn't really want to do it. So, Susan, I want to make sure I do not keep appointments with myself. That is it. Somehow I don't keep that sacred, but maybe it's time. It's the time when I block it out. It could be. I thought that too. I went through a lot of different ideas of how to make time blocking work for me. And what I just realized, I don't know if this is going to be the same for you or not, Susan. For me, what it was it was a mindset. I would time block some things and then not be in the mood. I would time block some things and not be inspired. Or I would time block something. Sorry about that, guys. I keep getting paused, and I'm sure you guys get paused too. And I was trying to maintain my stream of consciousness, and I forgot it. So, but I would justify. I would decide that it wasn't important. And what I really found, and like I said, I don't know if this was the case for you, Susan, or not. You might have to search this out for yourself. But what I found was that it was a mindset issue for me. I was not really. I wasn't dedicated to what I was doing. For that time frame. I wasn't dedicated to, I wasn't passionate for the reason behind it. And Susan, you're not behind. It froze for me too. So I came back in. I paused and came back in. So it was a mindset issue. I was justifying something else. I either didn't really want to do it, or I was hoping something else would come along that would work better. So really fight that mindset and look at it and see, analyze it and see, and then start questioning. And what really changed it for me was when I started asking myself, when I started time blocking, and then I would ask myself when I didn't want to do something, I would ask myself, okay, am I willing to throw away XYZ for not doing this right now for 30 minutes? And the other thing too is I decided, and I found this is another piece of this calendaring time blocking. I found that time blocking in 50-minute chunks works a lot better for me because I do it for 50 minutes and I don't care how into it I am or how not into it I am. Both ends work. When I'm not into it, I just start writing. And I'll start typing, and I don't know why I'm writing this. Today I'm doing this, and I'll just go on and I'll get inspired. Okay. So actions create the feelings. That's the first piece. And then on the flip side, at 50 minutes, when my alarm goes off at 50 minutes, I don't care what I'm doing or how deep I into it or how I'm flowing. I stop, I get up, I move, I drink water, get some energy and exercise into there. And then I go into my next 50-minute chunk, whatever it is. If I have multiple 50-minute chunks a day, really, I've made it easy on myself. I have a morning routine, and my number one lead domino every single day is to write for 50 minutes. Everything else is gravy. And what's great is when I get my morning routine done, my goodness, I accomplish so much more in the day. And it's not just the morning routine, it's because I'm inspired and proud of myself. And I hope that those help you with your mindset. So that was 4 things. So we had know your avatar, figure out your lead domino, batch your stuff together, use calendaring and time blocking, but give yourself 50-minute chunks, and then give yourself a break. And then 5, here's number 5. 5 is leverage. And here's what I mean by leverage. I don't mean other people. I don't mean, software systems. I don't mean anything like that. What I mean is repurpose what you're creating. So don't keep trying to start from scratch. Repurpose what you're creating. If you write a whole lot of thank you notes, and sometimes you're just telling somebody thank you for being a great person, do yourself a favor and write down, keep a list of all the different ways that you've said thank you to people so that you can pull from that list for inspiration for future notes. Every time you write an article or publish a blog post, it's a little dark there, or publish a blog post or something along those lines, pull from it. Use those pieces. If you do live streams, pull from those articles that you've written. If you're sending your emails, pull from those articles that you've written. That's what I mean by leverage and repurposing what you've got, repurposing what you've already put your heart and soul into. So leverage that. I think that we have to be totally unique and creative, which is one of the reasons that we get blocked and we're not, why we don't be consistently write our notes and stuff. Whereas if we keep a long list of all the different things we've told people that we're thankful for or grateful for about them, that helps inspire us and helps pull us in. Oh, I know 3 more people I can add to my notes today because I want to do 10 every day. That's just an example. I'm just telling you how to leverage it, how to inspire it. Think of it this way. If you've ever been in actual sales, and I don't mean real estate, I mean actual sales where you've had to call, and you have to remember, or you're constantly calling and follow up people. Like Chuck, my husband used to work for Endless Pools, and it's a high-end, like a triathlete training pool or a therapy pool of some sort, very high end, kind of on the exclusive end. And they did long-term, the sales process was pretty long. And so they had databases with all of their notes from previous conversations. You guys do too. I mean, you can do that with previous conversations, but it helps. So you didn't have to remember, you didn't have to start from new. It was like, oh yeah, inspired. I know what I can talk about with them today. Same thing with the thank you notes, same thing with your emails, same thing with articles you write. batch your stuff, batch it all together so that you can leverage it and then repurpose it. And then this is the last one, guys. This is number 6. I cannot express how important this one is. And I didn't want to say it first because I wanted to go through all of this. And I just thought this is really, you need to know this and you need to put this as your foundation. Be realistic. You can't do it all. It's really that simple. You can't do it all. There is no way. You'll drive yourself insane. No one does it all. Elon Musk doesn't do it all. Richard Branson doesn't do it all. Tony Robbins doesn't do it all. All the people, the bigwigs that you follow, they do not do it all. Some people are crazy, like Gary Vaynerchuk, and they work 18 to 20 hour days, 5 days a week. Okay, that's fine. I don't want that kind of life. If you don't want that kind of life, you can't do it all. And he still doesn't do it all, just as a record, for as long as he works. You can't do it all. You need to get help. And here's what I mean, okay? Here's what I mean. Stop beating yourself up if you aren't the perfect mom or wife or husband. So this piece is kind of big. You need to stop beating yourself up. If you're going to run a business, you cannot also be a 24-hour housewife, house mom. You can't serve your family in the same way. Let me be clear here. You can still serve your family. You can still be there for them 100%. But if you're running your business and you don't want to compromise your family time, get help. Get a housekeeper. Get someone who can come in and make your meals for you. Get someone who can run your errands. Outsource some of your laundry. Get help. And that's what I mean by that, so that you can be the best you, so that when you bring yourself to your business, you're not thinking and feeling guilty about, oh, I should be doing meals, or I should be cleaning, or I should be doing this. Same with men, only men don't struggle with this as much. And when you're in your time with your family, you're not there in your time with your family with your mind divided going, oh my gosh, I should be cleaning rather than playing a game with them. Oh my gosh, I should be going grocery shopping instead of going hiking with them. You can't do that. So you can't do it all. So what I've done, so some of the things that I've done, these are all tips that I've think, but we outsource a lot of stuff now. We really do. As our business grows, we outsource more and more because I want time with my family. So tomorrow is Saturday, and tomorrow is coming, and I'm going to do some work in the morning because one of my sons has some Taekwondo. But in the afternoon, rather than worrying about mowing the lawn or cleaning the house or going grocery shopping, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to go for a hike. So I like that time. That's the kind of mom I want to be. I want to be with them and in their time. I don't necessarily want to be worried about laundry or dishes or groceries. And so you need to give yourself permission to be the awesome mom that has a relationship with your kids and with your spouse, an awesome wife, and stop beating yourself up about being the one that has you're in charge of the whole house. So I know this is I don't struggle with this, but I know a lot of people who do. And I did struggle with it, but I don't anymore. I don't, because I've learned that, you know what, I'm okay. I have to outsource something, and I'd rather outsource that than my relationship with them. So anyway, I hope that helps you a little bit. I went through this pretty fast because we're having it looks like Facebook's having some live stream issues. So I went through this pretty fast. So let me just review again. First of all, 1, know your avatar. Know your avatar. And I've done other Rivet shows about your avatar, so definitely watch those. 2, figure out your lead domino. And I don't know if I've actually done a Rivet episode about the lead domino, so we probably could do that one. That would be a good one. But know your lead domino, which was Get the One Thing book by Gary Keller. That will help you figure out your lead domino. 3, batch your stuff together. Batch your writing, not your editing, not your other stuff, not your picking pictures, not that. I'm not talking about the implementation piece of like posting your blog posts and putting it out on Facebook. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the bulk, the most important piece. So for me, like I said, my lead domino was writing. So I batch my writing for 50 minutes every single morning. I write uninterrupted, headset on, nobody talks to me, Facebook off, email off, phone off, everything off, just Pandora on, and I pay for Pandora so I don't get ads, so I don't get distracted. On, and I just start plowing away on my writing. 4, you need a time block. You do need to calendar. Now, that does not mean you need to fill every single minute of time. That does not mean you need to do 4 hours a day. What it means is you need to set some appointments with yourself and be very specific about what you're going to do during those appointments and do them. and you know, be accountable to yourself. If it was someone else, like a buyer or seller, you wouldn't miss that meeting. But that's because you've decided that the meeting with the buyer or seller is more important than the lead generation to get the buyers or sellers. That's where the problem is. You need to understand your priorities. Your priority, number one, first and foremost, I don't care how many closings you have lined up. Your priority, number one, first and foremost, is lead generation, period. Your second priority is nurturing those leads, whether they're actually at the closing table or in the process. Your first priority is lead generation, always. Always, whether that is through, you know, working on, like I said, notes to people for referrals, whether that's working on Facebook lead generation, whether that's your blog, whether that's attending things, talking, calling people, whatever that is, your priority is lead generation. Your second is lead nurture. It is nurture, not just lead nurture, nurture. Priority, always. I don't care how busy you are. If you are too busy to do lead generation, you're gonna flip and starve when it comes December, because you're not too busy to do lead generation. You have not managed your time well. So that was a little harsh, but it's true, because I've done that and I needed that lecture for me too. So hopefully that was okay for some of you. And, you know, so that was number 4. You need to, the calendaring, the time blocking, you've got to understand that you control yourself. If you don't control yourself, everyone else controls you. And that was the key pivotal thing for me just a few months ago, actually. I would time block, but I would be kind of wishy-washy about it. And I would, let other things get in my way. And when I was really consistent with it, oh my gosh, I did really great. But my coach, you know, brought me an awareness of something. He's like, well, you know, you follow Dave Ramsey. And I said, well, yes, I do. And he goes, well, you know, and it's been since we became, started following Dave Ramsey in 2009. And we do a budget. We really stick with it. That's what we do. And we love it because we have total control of our money. We love that. And he said, well, why do you think time blocking is controlling you when you're budgeting your money and you feel like you're controlling your money? So wouldn't you think that time blocking would be you controlling your calendar, you controlling your day? And I was just like, oh yeah, you're right. So for me, that was my pivotal shift. That was my, I just hadn't made that connection. Don't know why, but I hadn't. So time blocking is you controlling your life, your outcome. And what's really, really great, when you budget, when you time block, you're free. There's freedom. You have absolute freedom because you control it, you pick it, you stick to it. You may need to start training your brain some if you're dealing with this one, doing some brain training exercises, and I would say some meditation, but brain training focused, that when you tell yourself you're going to do something, you stick to your word. You become a person of honor to yourself. You become a person who doesn't lie to yourself. And that's a process. That's a journey. I still find myself lying to myself. I still find myself not being honorable to myself, not sticking to what I say I was going to do. And when I start thinking of it like that, I'm like, what? If I'm not valuable enough, then why do I think someone else is more valuable than I am? And so, or somebody else's time. So just be aware of that. Usually the time blocking, the calendaring is rooted somewhere in a mindset issue. And so number 5 was leverage, and I meant repurpose leverage. And number 6 was be realistic. Be realistic. You can't do. Number 6 was be realistic. You can't do it all yourself. You just can't. You need help. And I don't mean you need to outsource your lead generation. I mean, you need help on things that aren't things that you love. I mean, if you love to cook and you're a gourmet cook or whatever, not even a gourmet cook, but you love to cook, keep that. But you don't love laundry, outsource that. That's what I'm talking about. Get some stuff off your plate. Get some of those things off your plate that you're feeling pressure or guilt to do that you don't love, that kind of just sit on your shoulders. So there you go. And this one had to be kind of fast because it keeps looking like it's freezing up and a lot of you aren't able to stay on. So I'm hoping that in replay, this works better. So if you're watching this live now or in replay and it's starting to be good, just let me know, do you struggle with time management? Because I want to go deeper on this one in future Ribbit Show episodes because it's kind of a biggie. It's kind of a biggie. We have a lot to do and we're not sure how to decide what to do. We're not sure how to prioritize. And I want to help you guys go into that a little bit in future episodes. So let me know. Have a great afternoon, you guys. Thank you for coming. Probably not a lot of you are getting to watch this in live because of the issues, but I hope that when you watch it in replay, you let me know and comment below. Thanks, you guys.